Hello and welcome back, dudes and dudettes. This is none other than Sugi Shogun here, and today we're gonna be wrapping up with a lot of these anime from the winter 2021 season, starting off with season 2 of Dr. Stone, also known as Dr. Stone Stone Wars. Now, I never really had particularly strong feelings about Dr. Stone. It wasn't a series that I absolutely loved or hated. I considered really middle of the pack series, which was easy to get into and enjoyable to watch with a really nice art style and animation. Now, Dr. Stone Season 2 is pretty much continuing in the same vein as the first season. I don't really see any drastic differences between those two that would be, worthwhile mentioning here. I mean, the story is continuing. The Stone Wars kind of like already started sort of in the first season. Kind of like the premise was laid out. Tsukasa versus Senkuu, and now that is basically coming into a climax in the end of this season. Now, due to COVID, I believe the season was kind of like cut down into 11 episodes only, or perhaps there wasn't enough source material to add up more episodes, otherwise it would have been filler or recaps. But we are definitely seeing a bit shorter seasons during the winter 2021, and I do think that it's due to COVID, but certain, obviously, animes had a bit of a lackluster animation at certain points, but I don't think Dr. Stone really suffered from that. I think it was pretty well animated from start to finish this season. Now, the Stone Wars obviously really focuses on the battle between Tsukasa and Senkuu, the Stone World Nation versus the Nation of Science, and that is kind of like the premise here, and we're going to be seeing a lot of new inventions by Senkuu. A couple of new characters are also introduced this season. How much part they will play in the latter seasons, who knows? I don't follow the manga. But overall, it was an okay season. Obviously, the Dr. Stone first and the second season are still pretty highly rated, though, in MAL, for instance, above 8.2, which is pretty high rating, and I wouldn't necessarily put it that high. And because there are certain flaws in this series, which I really want to talk about right now. And so, yes, the animation is great. The character designs are pretty good. They're unique. This art style from the mangaka is not something that you truly see in a lot of other shows, in my opinion. It's very unique in that sense, which I do appreciate. And also, I do think that the setting is somewhat unique. I mean, it is, but there are some which are kind of similar to that, but I don't want to touch upon that too much. Now, there's two fundamental issues in Dr. Stone so far. Now, one is that Senkuu, which I already talked about in the first season, is that Senkuu is a Gary Stu character. The problem is that you can't really have any character development if the character doesn't actually go through big struggles. And there are always going to be apologists in the comment section, but he went through this and but it's not true. It's like you're lying to yourself. Senkuu is, people can find appeal on this character, but he has zero character development. 99% of the times throughout the season, he has already the solutions to the problems. He knows what he has to build. He doesn't go in any form of a struggle period. He is kind of like the Goku of science. He has no problem of finding these solutions out of his head and remembering everything and what he needs to do now and here. And yes, maybe in the very last remaining episode, Chrome kind of steals the light for a one scene from Senkuu, and really that's it. But other than the time, Senkuu has all the solutions, and that's bad because it doesn't allow character development. And also, the Gary Stu is, I think it's a bit of a thing of the past. I think people are looking for more complex characters, and there's questions to be had about, are the characters enough complex in anime in general? Should there be more akin to certain live action counterparts? Who knows? But Senkuu is still a good character from other perspectives, like the comedy, the ideals, and yes, There are things that you might like about him, but it doesn't mean that there gonna be issues on the character development though, which definitely are there. Now, other thing what I don't like about the series is that nobody dies. Now, we are talking about post-apocalyptic series. This is literally the Stone Age. People would be dying in the diseases, and like, yes, you're trying to be doing a show about science and being realistic to sciences, but like, you would have all types of viruses. People are not well, they are probably vaccinated in their, past life before they returned to stone, but you would expect people to actually die in this series, and how like the people like in the village were really old, and this is just not really the case. Even in the Middle Ages, people like barely lived to their 40s. So you have to understand that you wouldn't expect people to be literally this old, like 60 and 70-year-olds. Okay, this is Japan. Maybe there's a bit of a case for that because they do live a bit longer there. Life expectancy is higher, but still, like, it is not realistic. And I don't like the fact that we are in a post-apocalyptic setting where nobody literally fucking dies. Like, it's like, the Lord of the Flies and everything. It could be a lot better series if it was more realistic than that. And yeah, it's a Shonen Jump series in the end of the day. Then again, there are a lot of other Shonen Jump series where people actually die. And you have to sometimes let go of certain characters, and this can be a way to build up character development. And I think it's very important for a multitude of reasons. It shows the stakes are high, and it just kind of like alleviates this sort of, plot shield of sorts. I mean, I don't think these are things that are going to be fixed down the line. I don't think Senkuu will go massive character developments or massive, redemption arcs here. It's not going to probably happen. It's not that type of a show. And is somebody going to be dying in the show? Who knows? Maybe. I don't know. But I think always when you watch the series for like some part or to some point, you kind of have an idea what type of a show it will be turn out to be. So you will have a bit of an idea, will there be a lot of people dying in this series or not? It's not really that the tone just suddenly changes over the seasons. That's not something that happens in any anime, really. But, I mean, it was still enjoyable, and it was a bit of a shorter season, and, the OST, which is mostly the same, I think it was okay, did its job. Didn't particularly love the ending and opening. I think Season 1 had particularly better ones. And I don't really have anything else to add regarding the Season 2. I will definitely still continue reviewing and watching these seasons of Dr. Stone. I don't particularly score it above the first season or below it. I think it's pretty much the same stuff. I don't particularly feel that there was a quality change here in any form of segment. But that's pretty much my rundown. Obviously, when you appreciate me, like it, share it, you know what to do. And I will be seeing you guys next time on the next video. Cheers.